tonight's topic, Kevin Sorbo. You guys are obviously up to date on Kevin Sorbo's, you know, the dumb shit he said.
Latest retarded shit.
Yeah, but I mean, he's gone from he's like a hardcore Christian actor now, like, and his fans are all Christians because he plays in like Christian movies. So I don't know if he believes it or if he feels like he just has to defend it because it's what his fans would want him to do. But he's become like a hardcore Christian.
I bet he probably wasn't always like this. I bet he was okay, like back in the day, but because he's so struggling and no one knows who the fuck he is anymore, not a lot of people knew who he was anyways, but now that no one knows who he is,
there's one of the largest syndicated TV shows.
Well, I mean, he finally gets fame in a movie, and he's like, oh shit, maybe I should do this. This is the way I need to go.
I'm telling you though, he is dumb as fuck, and he does not know when to shut. There is one clip I'll play that I'm going to give him credit for later. There's one, but other than that, he does not know when to shut his mouth. He doesn't understand that everybody can see this shit and hear what he's saying and how stupid he fucking sounds when he says this shit. So I guess we should start off with a little example. How about, well, you know how you can trust Kevin Sorbo? Because he goes on shows like this. Incredibly long and pointless intro.
Hercules is with us. Man, I'm familiar with Liberty films, fiction, nonfiction, with Christian films, because that's what I let my children watch. You're prolific, in your big niche, but for folks that I guess, only tune into a lot of dominant mainstream media, you're still involved with that some, but not as much as everything you're doing. Briefly, talk about some of the projects you've been involved in this project, because the fact that Christian media, freedom-based media is growing so fast and supplanting the old Hollywood structure, I think this is one of the most important revolutions happening right now.
Well, the independent world has really picked up in the movie making. We're still dependent to some degree to get the studios to pick up our movies and get them out there distribution-wise. But God's Not Dead went a whole different route. I've done 5 movies with these guys. PureFlix out of Arizona, the largest distributor of family and faith-based movies. And God's Not Dead was a little $2 million movie, and it was really PureFlix was very smart in getting it out to all the churches around the country and promoting it and having pastors and priests look at this movie and tell their congregation to go. Well, this $2 million movie made $62 million and stayed in theaters for 3 months, which is unheard of. And it's still opening in 33 more countries around the world. It has a very good chance to reach $90, even $100 million on a $2 million budget.
Obviously a miracle of God. I'll let you guys catch up with the video. Yeah. What was the name of the company?
PureFlix.
PureFlix.
Yeah, it's from here in Arizona, which is like,
dude, it almost sounds like a porn company.
Right?
Like I'd probably think if someone was like, "Hey, bro, look up pureflix.com," I would probably think that's a porn site before I thought it was a Christian.
Same when you think Vivid, right? You're like, hey, man, go visit Vivid. Go visit Pure. Oh, okay. Like pure fucking hardcore videos here is what I think of.
PureAnal.org. All right.
I bet Sorbo would love that site.
Well, he's obviously making the rounds, and here we have Alex Jones.
Well, so, I hate that he's like, oh, it's going across the globe, and it's going across this, and it's made so much money. I'm like, great. So you're perpetrating the stereotype of us, negative bullshit straw man stereotype, and you're proud of it. Thanks, Dick. Fuck you.
Well, yeah. You guys want to continue with this one, or you want to just move on?
Sure, that's cool. I mean, might as
well I actually halfway want to watch it. I can't believe I haven't seen Kevin Sorbo with Alex Jones.
Oh, yeah, there's actually a couple of clips. Let's continue with this one.
Well, I'd love to get you on for a longer period just about God's Not Dead, but that film's been launched now. And again, I have no stake in these films. I was promoting a film yesterday, about the fake utopia of Obama that I'm not involved in, because this is how we're going to win the culture war. Tell us about the new film that's coming out soon.
You know, I kind of touched on it a little bit already. It really deals with what's happening in America today. I play a Nobel Prize-winning economist, and I'm on the lam because I'm calling out the government for what they are. But freedom of speech has pretty much been taken away. The dollar's worth nothing. Only gold is worth something now, and you're kind of seeing that happen in real life. Obama has kept, I think, I tell people at the stock market, I say the stock market is like the dot-com industry back in the late 90s, where it's all a bunch of ghost money. We've been printing so much money over the last 6 years to try to keep the country afloat. But I mean, look at how much more in debt we are since Obama took over in the last 6 years. So this movie points a finger at that, and points to where we're losing all of our rights as Americans. And I fake my own death, and really the movie is driven by my son in the movie. I'm literally only in the movie like 5 or 6 scenes, so I can't say it's my movie. I mean, it's driven by the kid playing my son that is trying to figure out a way to really get us out of the country.
Jesus.
What is this, a new fucking fish tar?
He's like going against the government. They took away freedom of speech, Obama. And then they turn around and like, then what is, he said the money's not worth anything. But now gold is the only thing that's worth anything. Here's the funny thing. If everything really goes to shit, like everything really goes to shit, nobody's going to want gold. Gold does not matter unless there's some way to assign value to it. If you're starving and you've got a Big Mac, it doesn't matter how many bars of gold someone offers you. You're going to fucking be like, fuck you, I'm hungry and I want this Big Mac. What am I going to do with a shitload of gold? Like, make, wiring or something? Like, it's fucking pointless. It has no good use. And the idea that and he's selling it. That's that cash for gold. Same shit that like Glenn Beck sells. That's the same shit they're pushing in this movie, this conspiracy theory, like they're gonna shut down our freedoms, and then we're gonna have to be on the lam because I'm a Nobel Prize. I play a Nobel Prize winning economist. So he's like, soup knows, like economists get the Nobel Peace Prize or some shit. And then the U.S. government's like, aha, now we've got you. Obama's like, we can't have this. And then the whole story's based on how his son is trying to get them out of the country. Oh my fucking God.
What's hilarious, right? Okay, so he's a Nobel Prize winning economist who's on the run because he's saying something against the government. That sounds like one of the worst fucking plots I've ever heard, honestly. Like him trying to stumble through the explanation of the video. It's actually I'm actually not in the video really I'm only in it for like 4 scenes, so it's not really my movie. Why are you calling it your movie, asshole? But it's about my kid. Like,
it's
this
hilarious
sounds like
because
this sounds fucking
makes the
terrible.
most sense out of anything else said on that Alex Jones show.
Oh man, that's pretty good.
All right, shall we continue? You want to finish it off?
How much is Loves?
Oh, only a
wait,
couple
that
minutes.
wasn't the end?
Oh, no, I just am really good at picking spots to pause. Here we go.
Amazing. Yeah, I am familiar with the novel. I haven't read it yet, but I know it kind of ties in just to the whole fact that we, as a society, will lose our freedoms and we will live in a tyranny if we're not involved. But now we're here, and that's why these films are resonating with folks so much, because it's not Alex Jones or Matt Drudge or WorldNet Daily warning people 20 years ago. It's now here. Do you think we'll turn the corner, or where does your gut, Kevin Sorbo, tell you we're going?
I don't know. I'm looking to New Zealand. I'm telling you. I mean, it's I lived there for 7 years with Hercules, and it was a pretty nice country. For a socialist country, it's pretty capitalistic. I mean, this country is so large, and we've got such a large population. I mean, what the Democrats found out early, started back in the 60s, how to get votes. They said, look, we'll promise them free stuff. Well, free stuff, as we know, isn't free. But the people receiving the free stuff view it as being free. So to break them out of that cycle, I mean, how do you stop people? How do you get people who should be working to work when they've gotten so used to just basically laying around? I'm all for helping people who need help. So don't get me wrong. I don't want more hate mail and email. You're going to get those anyway from everybody. But if you're able to work. I didn't grow up with anything. My dad was a public school teacher. I was the fourth of 5 kids. My dad was a Walter Mondale, Hubert Humphrey, Minnesota Democrat. that. But he instilled hard work into all 5 of his kids, saying, don't expect handouts. Don't expect to be lazy in your life. He cracked the whip. I call his hand soft thunder,
Did this motherfucker say he was going to move to New Zealand? Which he admitted was a socialist country, but like every other socialist country, it has capitalism mixed in, just like America. They just they're leaning more towards socialism than, we allow capitalism to take over things that they don't allow. They say, no, we should not involve money when it comes to people's health. We shouldn't charge exorbitant amounts, and let insurance companies get away with that shit. And by the way, if you want private insurance in any nationalized healthcare country, you can get it. You can get extra insurance on top of what the government offers already. And when he's like, the idea is there are people who are working and they are, they're not covered. So what about those people, Kevin Sorbo? He's talking about the people that are are able to work but don't. Well, what about the ones that are working and don't fucking have any healthcare, douchebag? You seem to have forgotten all about that whole, section of the fucking public.
It's because the argument never changes. The argument never gets any better. And they've been repeating this shit for so fucking long, and all of them do. This is not any different than anything you would have heard from Glenn Beck or Sean Hannity or nothing like that.
No, it's just, it's the same shit that they repeat over and over ago. And it's not the problem, or I'm listening to what he keeps saying, and he's doing the same thing that he did before on air. They pulled him out for about his whole blame them for being there's no reason these animals should be rioting. Or they're just blaming everyone else for their mistakes. It's that fucking mentality of the right wingers.
We'll get into that later.
Well, yeah, I'm just saying it's the mentality the right wingers and the Republicans have of they're just fucking lazy and they just want to they're just angry that they're not as successful as we are and they just need to buck up and fucking man up. It's like, yeah, that's why they're angry.
All right, so I wanted to I'll read you what he wrote on Facebook about the what was happening in Ferguson.
Okay.
He actually wrote, Ferguson riots have very little to do with the shooting of the young man.
Okay.
It is an excuse to be the losers these animals truly are. It is a tipping point to frustration built up over years of not trying but blaming everyone else, the man, for their failures. It's always someone else's fault when you give up. Hopefully this is a reminder to the African Americans. I always thought we just I'm reading it the way he wrote it. He's like, I always thought we just Americans, because there's a comma in there for some reason, that their president, the voted in, has only made things worse for them, not better.
Wow.
Yeah, that's what he wrote on Facebook. Yeah.
That's what. Then he had to go on and try to
and then he had an apology for it.
Oh, the apology was fucking pathetic.
No, I actually thought the apology was pretty good.
No,
I disagree with you.
But if you think about the apology and if you actually look at what he's saying, he's not really being apologetic. He's that fake politician apologetic. Well, yeah, caught me being stupid. But listen, this is why I really said it, and I'm not stupid because I said it.
He did pull the context card.
It's still fucking retarded.
He did pull the context card, and I don't follow him on Facebook, so I'm only going to hear what people are reporting that he says. I don't care what he wrote before or after it, unless it was kidding.
But the context card. Okay, I want to bring this up. My mom lives in Canada. She moved there a couple of years ago. I talked to her over the weekend about the healthcare there compared to here. And I also talked to her about Ferguson because they get some news, but they try not to, like my mom tries not to read too much about it. And my mom, I've never heard her say anything racist in her life. That'd be my dad, if anyone. I've never heard her say anything racist. She's always been nice, cheery. She's actually a fundamentalist Christian. I didn't realize that until this weekend, but that explains a lot of like her whole persona. She actually did the same thing. She blamed them, saying, "Oh, it's not about the guy getting killed. It's about these people just wanting a riot because that's how they are, and they just want to blame people. And why aren't these communities helping each other? Why is it not the communities building each other up anymore? That type of shit." So it's like, what the fuck? It's not. I mean, it's repeated all the time, and it goes through everyone, and it's just like ingrained in people, and you don't really fucking realize it. And then you have people like Sorbo coming out and saying it loudly, and then going like, "Well, there's nothing wrong with what I'm saying. You know, it's just the mentality of them. See."
Well, you guys want to hear his apology and judge for yourselves?
Yeah, that's what I was about to ask.
All right, let's go.
Like politicians always say, things are taken out of context. Look, I've got plenty of friends from all races and all religions and all colors and all breeds. I'm hardly a racist. What I'm saying is that what's going on in our country right now is building resentment towards a lot of things. There's a lot of anger building up with a lot of people, and I think we're at a tipping point where people are just ready to just go off no matter what happens, and to use looting and to use more rioting as an excuse for what happened in Ferguson. And let's face it, what happened there, we just don't have all the facts and everything lined up yet. And it's a horrible thing that happened. There's no question. I'm not saying what the officers did is a good thing or a right thing at all. I'm just saying that we're always looking for reasons to blame other people for the failures in their life. So
I would just like to quickly point out that he is very quick to blame other people when they riot or loot or whatever. And, it seems to be that he is just as quick to blame as he claims they are.
Told you. Yeah,
you can't. Yeah, that part is complete bullshit. But what he says at the end here is what I agree with.
I guess it was a broad stroke by me, and I apologize not only to African Americans, I apologize to anybody that's offended by that, because people that know me know that I'm not that type of person. But people, to go after my head is what you're saying. It just shows you how much anger and hatred is out there. And you know what? And I probably posted that out of anger and hatred myself, just out of the frustration of what's going on in America, period. And my apologies again. I didn't, it wasn't meant to, and it was stupid of me to post it. I know it. And we all do dumb things, and I'm not better than anybody else. So I did something stupid, and I apologize.
I agree there. He did something stupid, and he's no better than anyone else.
But you just played us a video where he said pretty much the same type of shit, and he's like, "Oh no, I was angry. So I was angry, and these people who are responding are probably angry, and that explains it all away. So don't think of me as a racist. Don't think of me as a bad guy. I have plenty of friends that are actually other races. I have plenty of friends. Don't think of me that way. It was just me in this one little time that I was angry. Sorry, that doesn't fucking work."
On the topic of anger, he actually had something to say. He said that talking with someone as angry as Bill Maher is pointless. But yeah, this is what he had to say. He said that you can't talk to people like Bill Maher because he's like, I wonder what happened to him in his lifetime, because the atheists I've met, not all of them are angry. I've got some very good friends who are atheists, of course, and they just don't believe. They simply don't believe. We've had great debates about it and things like that. But he says there's no reason to even try and talk to a guy like that because he has so much hate. But then here's the real fun part. You ready? Look who this is. Can you tell me who Kevin Sorbo is having an interview right here with? It's not, you can't bother to talk to people like Bill Maher because he's so angry and full of hate. But people like Brian Fisher, sure.
Even though Maher is an atheist, I've never thought of Bill Maher, of anybody that you could possibly name, Bill Maher as being like angry. That just sounds like kind of funny on its own. Even if you're a Christian, I don't see how you can say Bill Maher comes off as like angry.
I would say he comes off angry sometimes in his skits, but not like as not as oh god, who am I trying to think of? Who just fucking yells all the time? That's a comedian. He doesn't come off that way, like
Sam Kennix or something like that.
Yeah, shit like that. Yeah, or Louis C.K. where he's like angry and he cusses all the time, and you have this persona where he's like, he's really he gets angry at things, but it's like the topic that pisses him off, not just he's like a fucking walking ball of rage all the time.
I'm just saying, dude, if you look at Bill Maher and you're like, oh, this is one of those angry atheists. If you look at Bill Maher and think that, what do you think when you see Christopher Hitchens?
Yeah.
Or like somebody like that. It's just like,
Hitchens,
wow.
I think an anti-theist, but I think of a guy who's intelligent and can actually, who's actually, well-spoken for an anti-theist. But yeah, I don't think of like some just old curmudgeon like Louis Black.
All right. So on the topic of this story, I found this video. I only watched a couple seconds of it, but it's a video that some Christian made, like agreeing with Kevin Sorbo and covering this article. So let's just watch a little bit of that. All right.
Hey guys, I just wanted to pop in here and show you this article I found. It said actor Kevin Sorbo, not too fond of atheists, says they're always so angry. I agree with this dude so much, and I just want to say he played a very good role as an atheist in God's Not Dead, and that's a great movie. If you haven't seen it, go see it. I beg you to go see that movie. I own it myself. When it first came out on DVD, I bought it, and I love it. But anyway, he was talking about how whenever he sees them on TV or, you know, anything that he reads about them, they're always so angry. Like, I've even noticed that. Like, how could somebody be so angry on something they don't believe in? They get angry at somebody who prays in public. Like, if you don't believe in God, why you get so angry? What difference does it make to you? Like, seriously. Like, don't, like, whine about something you don't even believe in. You go, that guy's praying. It hurts me to see somebody praying to a God I don't even believe in.
I guess.
Wow. God damn it, that hurts me, man, because that's the same fucking bullshit fucking shit that they use all the time, you know, man? It's like they misrepresented, like, oh no, they have an issue with you praying. No, fucker, they have an issue with you erecting a monument using federal fucking money for it, you cocksucker. Not just you. Sorry, cock.
No, it's all good. It's just, I find it, they're always pushing their shit into the public square, and then when it's removed, they're like, oh, look at the persecution. When you'll notice that it's never like Islam that's being persecuted from the public square, because Islam doesn't get their shit put in there in the first place. So right. So then obviously it comes out like the Christians are being like persecuted and their stuff removed because they're the ones interjecting it all over the fucking place and trying to get it into schools and shit. So when it's removed from a book that they try and squeeze it in there because it's a public, then they're like, haha, look, and they're only coming after us. Well, you're the only ones trying to do it, dipshit. You know, that it's frustrating to deal with people this stupid, and the whole like, oh, you're so angry. Dude, I'm frustrated. I've been dealing with you morons and your stupid, unthought out arguments and your flawed logic and the mental gymnastics you go through to explain away reality. And it's just any argument that you use in favor of your God, if you can put that, you know, imagine receiving that argument from someone else in favor of their God and against yours and see if it works. It's that easy. Think, would this argument work on me? Before you go opening your dumb mouth. And if it would, and it's a dumb argument, then that just makes you dumb for not thinking it through before you made a fucking video or said something stupid. Just like Kevin Sorbo, who, you know, just here. I don't even want to continue with this video. This kid's just going to piss me off. So we'll just move on with the actual fucking Kevin Sorbo shit.
Because, like, the kid's parroting Kevin Sorbo, who's parroting the right-wing fundamentalist bullshit that's been said for the past, like, what, hundreds of years.
All right, let's do one more of these before we get to the real good stuff.
Of some of the Christian movies he's produced and been involved in, the kind of stuff I can show my kids.
Again with InfoWars.
And of course, everybody knows him from Hercules, a lot of other big TV shows and movies. And he's in a new libertarian freedom-promoting film alongside nightmovie.com. And of course, the author is Neil Schulman, who we're going to get on coming up in a few weeks because all the breaking news, we're moving him obviously with the Russian crisis. But Alongside Night is the new film in theaters and many other places coming out. So we want this libertarian-style, freedom-based film to be successful. Kevin Sorbo, thanks for coming on with us.
Hey, good to be here. Good to see you.
Well, a lot happening. Before we get into the film, what do you think about how crazy the world's gotten and the open borders and Obama and the anti-gun executive orders and everything else? What's your take on that?
None of that is even true.
Oh yeah.
My take on that is that it's all false, and they're a bunch of fucking like dog whistles that for people that don't know the fucking issues at all, haven't done the slightest bit of fucking research, or there's actually. This is what happens. You have the people who are just ignorant because they do no research, and then there's this big gray area of people who like do some research and have some semblance of knowledge, and they usually come to the same conclusions that we do, that this is full of shit. And then you have the people who like dig too far, and then they find things, and they're like, aha, so this and that, and so it's actually like this, and blah, 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 and they make it all up and tie things together that aren't tied up, and those are your conspiracy theorists who, instead of being ignorant, they think they have so much information that they know better than everybody else.
And they're the only ones that are actually skeptics.
Yeah,
and then they're the only ones that can put the dots together. You and I can't see this, how everything fits together, how the Illuminati pulls the strings of the Freemasons, who then change the campaign finances of Obama so that he wins the election. Otherwise, Mitt Romney, all this fucking crazy loop-de-loop.
All I heard was chemtrails.
Which is ironic because y'all know Kevin Sorbo's next movie is about fucking chemtrails.
You know what I want to happen? Right. I want the people that believe in chemtrails to just be able to inspect the shit out of a single 747. Inspect it all you want, and then watch as it you see that there's no like nozzles to spray, there's no compartments for them to have any kind of fluids to spray or smoke out or whatever, nothing in the exhaust but normal fucking jet fuel, so let them totally check it out and then fly that thing and show them the fucking exhaust behind it and be like, yeah, so what now? That would pretty much just shoot that shit right out of the water right there. That's all it takes. Just let a whole group of those crazy fuckers go scour over a plane and let them just never take their eyes off it as it takes off, and they can watch that shit themselves.
I think anyone who believes chemtrails are real has a fundamental lack of science, and they really should shut the fuck up and stop spreading their bullshit.
Oh, no. Kevin Sorbo has done Locked in a New Audience, and his next movie is going to cover just that.
Yeah.
Oh, goody.
He knows where his bread is buttered, and it's on the right side.
Yeah.
And it's on the side of the bread that's toasted with Jesus' face in it. It's a miracle. It's a Herculean-sized miracle. This guy got famous, by the way, by playing like a Greek, mythological demigod. And now he's like, oh, Jesus.
Yeah, shittily playing him.
Mm-hmm. Anyway, he goes on in this to talk about how we're going to become a third world country if you want to continue.
Well, the movie kind of feeds into that, actually. This book was written back in 1979 by Neil Schulman, and it pretty much predicted everything that's going on in the world right now with the economy, with Americans losing their independence, losing their freedom of speech, losing their freedoms as a whole, and, everything.
I'm curious, what freedoms have we lost? Can anyone think of one?
No, he's talking about when they're no longer allowed to be discriminatory and be openly bigots, then they're losing their freedom to practice religion, which means that they can't fucking, be
that's not freedom.
Assholes.
Freedom is what is... Freedom is not something you give someone else. You understand? I don't say I give gay people the freedom to be together, but I don't give them the freedom to get married. Freedom is not something you give something else. It's something everyone just has. And that freedom is something that affects you. You know what I mean? You don't affect freedom. Freedom affects you. So basically your freedoms have not been taken away at all. Anything from the Constitution or whatever. Even if abortion is legal, that doesn't take away your freedom to not have an abortion. And if gay marriage is legal, that doesn't take away your freedom to not get gay married.
Yeah, but
that does nothing to your freedom.
But remember, in that case, you forget that your freedom doesn't matter because this is a Judeo-Christian goddamn nation, and we are supposed to follow what God said about religion. One man, one woman, period. except for all the other passages where he talks about concubines and multiple wives and the slaves and all the rest of that shit. We just gloss over that.
Incest,
one woman and one man, period.
The obvious
Adam and Eve, not Adam and Steve.
Yeah, hey, bro. Hey, that's a very good point. Actually, you know what? I agree with Kevin Sorbo now. Thank you, Drew. You just flipped my perspective right there. And also, I've decided I'm going to grow my hair out like that.
Good.
Because I want to look like Keanu Reeves in the mid-90s.
Good point there. What a good Christian he is, has a fucking shaven face. Completely shaven face. What a good Christian.
It's his job, though, bro. And I'm sure he's never shot a movie on a Sunday, because that would go against the Ten Commandments.
And wait a minute, bro. Even if he did, that's the Old Testament. Jesus changed all that.
Oh, yeah, I forgot. So those rules that they want us to, the Ten Commandments they want us to put in the courtrooms, don't even fucking matter anymore. But they still want them out there for because.
Basis of all morality, brother. Remember, it's the basis of all morality.
Let's continue this a little.
It's just it's amazing of how accurate this book has predicted what's going on right now, and it's crazy. I mean, I don't know what's going to happen with this whole Putin thing. I mean, has Russia even changed really? I mean, they make KGB is just a different name, you know. So it's I've been to Russia recently. I actually went over in January, and I'm telling you right now, I wouldn't move there. So you know, people still, when they're in trouble, who do they come to? They come to America first, don't they? Even though they've been bashing us for the last dozen years, they still come here first whenever there's a problem.
Do they?
Oh my God. I love how when someone has a problem and America just like interjects itself into their issues or whatever, then
America.
Yeah, fuck yeah. But they just interject. We interject ourselves in other people's problems, and then we're like, you were just begging for our help. And I'm sure they were begging for you to have like extended military bases on there. You know, can you imagine? Just put yourself like we have military bases in all these other countries. Oh, shitload. Imagine a single country having one military base in the United States. Imagine how big your mind would be like. We would be like, oh, no. But then we think it's fine to do it to everyone else, and then we don't understand why everyone else is talking shit about us for the past dozen years. Well, I wonder fucking why. If Sweden had a military base in the U.S., it would be like all out fucking war. Like,
I want to visit that one actually.
We don't even like that. It wouldn't even matter. The facts wouldn't matter. There would be so much hyperbole. It would just be off the charts. And you can't imagine why other countries don't like us fucking sitting there with our, militaries for how long have we been in Germany?
Since World War II.
Thank you. My point. Like, how long does it take before you fucking stop occupying them? And then we can't understand why people don't like us. And then we say, like, and everyone begs for our help.
No, they don't.
No, they don't. America is not this, like, shining city, what is it? The city on the hill or whatever fucking shit. It's not that. All right?
Yeah, we're supposed to be like the shining beacon of what everyone should be, and that hasn't been that way for a long fucking time. We haven't been that way for a long fucking time.
But that's part of why they sell it to people like that. They sell it to people like that, like the world needs us.
Oh yeah,
that's the only way they can. That's the only way they can get away with. What do we spend like
every superpower ever has pretty much done that.
Yeah.
I mean, and we're no better. Those that think that this will last more than, oh God, I would say that we're more than halfway done. America, is past the halfway point. What do they call it?
We've gone to the point where we're completely fucked, like with the not the theocracy, the oligarchy we have now, and just blatant corruption and blatant police brutality. And
America, as it stands now, will not. Yeah, we're incredibly divided, and so many ignorant people, and so uncaring about. We're so like now. We won't even look more than like, what is it, like 4, maybe 5 years into the future? We just don't give a shit, man. We don't have any long-term plan whatsoever, and it's just a bad direction. And I'm not trying to be pessimistic or like, well, fuck this. I'm being honest. I honestly think we're past that halfway point. That the midway of America's legacy is in the past, not in the future. That's just a personal opinion. I'm sure there are plenty of people out there that can agree with that.
I wouldn't want that to be true, but the signs I think are kind of telling. People don't give a shit about anything. People don't care. So I think that's just a side effect of it.
All right, let's try and finish this one, and then we'll get to the meaty stuff.
Well, I totally agree that America is a lot better than Russia. What's left, the Bill of Rights, Constitution, due process, and I don't, as Ron Paul has said, say Putin's an angel. My issue is George Soros has been intimately involved in the whole Ukraine thing, so I think both sides are bad, manipulating the Ukrainians against each other. I just hope this plane shoot down doesn't escalate some type of conflict with Russia.
Yeah, it's pretty scary. It's just sad and it's pathetic, and it's. I think with all the evidence mounting already, just within 24 hours, they're going to be able to find the guy who actually pressed the button. So it's pretty insane. I mean, look what's going on. I mean, you go back to Watergate, you go back to all the attacks on Nixon during that time. Good Lord, in the last 6 years, we've had far more mini scandals that have been much, much bigger. But look where we are. We're not doing anything about them. It just shows you where the moral curve has gone in this country and in the world, where everything's okay. And we're such an apathetic country right now that people don't seem to care that this country is skidding down into a third world nation.
Drew, you want to hit that?
Where do you start? Scandals in I'm assuming he's talking specifically about Obama that were bigger than Watergate,
right?
Benghazi.
And then what was it? IRS is going after conservative groups. Actually, they're not. Oh wait, shit! Sweep that on the rug.
Obama's trying to take your guns. Obama's trying to fuck your sister. Thanks, Obama.
It's amazing. These people what they do is that they strike me as people that have just never even looked into arguments against their arguments. They've never looked into counter arguments.
They don't bother. Why? They already know what's right. You don't need to look any further when you already know it. Why bother to learn anything about the subject when I know it. I know. And that's the whole thing about, don't even bother talking to these angry atheists. He's like, I've got atheist friends, and we have conversations. Well, what we'll see in the next video will show you that he doesn't understand very much from those conversations that he's had with his atheist friends about this. He didn't really absorb too much of it, apparently. And he's still very much like that, I don't care if you tell me directly what you think. I'm going to tell you what you think.
So I wondered, he has atheist friends, but I'm guessing they're not the angry ones he's talking about. So I wonder how he, tries to not alienate them if they actually exist. Before you move on, though, I want to talk about the due process they're talking about with Glenn Beck, or not Glenn Beck, Jesus, all the retards look alike. Fucking Alex Jones and... Yes, it's Alex Jones and Kevin Sorbo, the due process and all that shit. Due process? You mean having your life ended without a trial? Kind of like, Mr. Brown and Mr. Powell? Now, why would you possibly be mad and be protesting and possibly rioting?
No, he's, well, I mean, look, I also think that it's bullshit behavior to go loot stores because you have the opportunity to do so. Look, I agree there. The difference is I'm aware enough to know not to call them, the looters, animals.
Yeah.
Because that's obviously can be misconstrued when you're talking about pretty much a single race of people. And you are including, when you use word like animals like that, instead of just I don't know what the proper phrasing would be. But I would take the time to think of it. I wouldn't just be like, fuck it. Them, them monkeys. I don't, what's wrong? I just called them monkeys. I don't understand why you just put it in context.
And that's the thing. He wrote this on Facebook. It isn't like he was in an interview and was just on the spot and said it. He wrote the fucking thing.
Savages is bad too. I wouldn't go with savages. I would probably say opportunistic criminals or something along those lines, because that's what those people are. And My biggest point would say, don't let that distract you from the major story, which is what he keeps saying. He was saying that. That was the point he was trying to make. It's like, don't let it distract you from what actually happened. But he's the first one to bring it up and talk about it. Exactly. And that distracts from the actual fight. So he's instantly hypocritical about it, because he says we should be focusing on the real issue, but I'm going to go right on Facebook about how the animals and the rioters and they just using this as an opportunity. Yeah. But I mean, you should be ignoring those people and the news coverage of it if you really want to focus on the real issues.
And that's exactly why I said that when he did his whole apology thing, he's full of shit, because he's acting like he's sorry, but he's not. He's continuing talking about continuing like, well, yeah, I'm sorry for what I said, but look, you still got to look into the situation. Like, did you not get the whole point of why people are mad, you fucking idiot?
All right, let's get into the good stuff. Drew, you already know what this is, but it'd still be fun to talk about. All right. This is harsh.
The atheists that are, it's such a small group of people in our country, but so well organized, and they get on TV all the time on Fox and CNN, and they rant and they rave, and I pretty much base the character off of these guys that I see just, angry, filled with just hatred and anger. And, on one hand I feel sorry for them, but on the other hand I kind of laugh at them. I'm going, why would anybody spend so much time ranting and raving about something that they don't believe in? There's a lot of things I don't believe in. I don't get angry about it and form, foundations and groups and get on TV and go crazy on it. So I don't understand how these guys get such a big voice. I mean, I go back to all these, these past decades that you mentioned about, with this chipping away at religion,
and there it is,
and how it's, brought the country down. We're not the same country we used to be, and we're not looked upon the same way we used to be.
Okay, so atheists are just really angry, and then he doesn't understand why we're angry about something that we don't believe in.
Yeah, he has atheist friends that he talks to all the times.
Yeah, apparently he has atheist friends, and he really understands where they're coming from or something. But he doesn't understand how atheists can be, can get frustrated or upset about these things and why they would form groups. Well, here's the thing, buddy. It's not just that because we don't believe in it. You know what I mean? Like, imagine there was a political party that promoted Santa Claus, and they ran under the rules of Santa Claus, and they tried to push Christmas into all the public places all the time because that was their religion or whatever. And I'm sure
that one. This is a Kringle in,
yeah,
or something.
It is a weird example, but the point is that they would not. They would quickly get upset about it, even though they don't believe in Santa Claus. They would quickly get upset about, like, this is like taking it too far, and come on, man, like, and they would quickly then like make laws or try and ban them from doing what they do, and they can't understand why we can form groups, because keep in mind they want to keep us scattered. But that's like the easiest way to defeat people is don't let them, like, is to divide them or not let them come together as a group. Or, if you won't let a group be represented, it's quickest way to just ignore them in society, pretty much.
Yeah, keep them scattered, keep them quiet, keep them ignorant. Don't let anyone else know about them either.
But this is the point I was getting at earlier. Whether you think you have atheist friends or not, if you're following any kind of news media and stuff like that, it's... They even now, like, without all the shit on YouTube, all the guys like us making our videos and stuff like that, outside of that, you got like Silverman coming on Fox News and shit. How have you never heard an argument from the atheist perspective of why they do these things? It's not just atheists doing this. There's a shitload of Christians out there that are like, yeah, church and state need to be kept separate. How have you never heard that argument?
No, it's basically aimed towards an audience. Like, this show is aimed towards an audience that is so fucking ignorant, and so, like, atheists are bad. Like, oh, they're even worse than the queers. Like, that kind of fucking audience that it doesn't matter. They can get away with this shit because those people don't know any atheists. And And like when they say shit like some of my really good friends are atheists, they're saying that because they know their audience doesn't have any really good friends that are atheists. They're saying like, oh well, I guess it's not just me, it's the atheists that are his friends too, so it must be right. It's absolutely, and they really are stupid enough to not think it through and just believe it on that face value. But yeah, the fact that it's the frustration with their actions and what they do, like pushing their religion. Keep in mind that you can't remove their freedom to be religious. It's not like we're trying to, there's no atheist organization out there that is trying to force churches to pay taxes or anything like that. There's nothing like that. All they are pissing and moaning about and saying we're angry is because we're retaliating when they're trying to squeeze their bullshit into the public system. And nowadays with the technology the way it is, instant communication, people find out about this shit quickly, and we're able to group together and we have a response for you. We're not going to let you put creationism in the frickin' science books and shit all over evolution in the science books just because your religion is like so fragile it can't deal with it. So if that to you is like, oh, an affront on your religion, well, so be it. Homeschool your kids or put them in a Christian school, but it ain't going to happen in the public school that everyone else's kids got to go to. You're not special. Evolution is not like the atheist plan to it's just what we have, the best facts we have available. If there is ever a real bit of evidence that discredits evolution, they're going to throw it out the window. But the thing is, they won't be able to throw it out the window because they've got so much evidence in its favor. Like, so fucking much. There would have to be some kind of explanation. I guess it would probably be a fraud like the ones the Christians love to fucking point out.
Oh, yeah, the Piltdown Man and stuff like that. No, it's just so, I guess it's so frustrating when you see these things, you see these news clippings and Fox and InfoWars and shit, and you realize how much effect that shit has on people and how many people are just like, oh, Alex Jones, Like remember the guys during the early days of the Tea Party rallies? All of them had their God Bless Glenn Beck signs. Like shit like that, dude. It's just like that. They have so much influence over these people. And these
by the way, they paid for the materials to make those signs with gold.
And silver.
They're like, how many ounces of gold do I owe you? Because we all know Obama's president and the dollar has no value. Fucking morons.
Yeah, I think you said it really good earlier, TJ. You're talking about how freaking split the country is.
Yeah.
Like just how, like, when you sit there and you hear like their complaints against Obama, like that shit they say where he's like a super left progressive and shit like that. And we look at it and we're like, what the fuck are you talking
He's center right at best.
Yeah, like, dude, this dude is like moderate as fuck.
And people when they find out I'm a liberal, they're like, oh yeah, with Obama. And I'm like, I dislike him. And they're like, why? And I tell them why I dislike him, and it's for totally different reasons than why they dislike him. Because usually the things that I dislike him for are promises that weren't kept, and shit like that, and turning into a complete bitch, basically. Trying to play what everyone was trying to give him credit for as like three-dimensional chess. You remember that? Three-dimensional chess. No, it's not even fucking two-dimensional chess. It's basically just knock over my pieces and concede. And that's why I don't like Obama. And the Republicans like would push for something, and then Obama would do it. And when Obama did what they asked for, they immediately turn around and they're like, can you see what he did? Look at what he did. And people are so stupid that they wouldn't realize that it was the Republicans that pushed for that. And then when Obama caved to them, they called him out for it. What? Because no matter what he does, it's liberal. So even if it's, a very conservative thing that Obama endorses, it's Obama doing it, so that makes what he's endorsing liberal, and so you have to move even further to the right. It's moving the entire political spectrum.
Yeah.
You've taken it, you've said like, oh, those liberals. Well, if you're willing to call Obama a liberal, and that's way over here, then that means like the right wing has to adjust as well. So It just goes further and further right wing, because they call everything that's not extreme right wing liberal. You've got extreme conservatives calling each other liberal as insults. That's how it is.
John McCain a liberal.
But that's the mentality that you're dealing with, and you're not going to get fucking through to people like that.
Yeah, and that's what I was going to say when you were talking about like how you hold your arguments and what they say. Your arguments are shit like, you know, your like failed promises of Obama, and their arguments are like he orchestrated Benghazi from a Kenyan mosque. And you're like, what the fuck do you say to that?
Oh, God. I would like to thank everyone for joining the stoned aristocrats instead of the drunken peasants. We're way better. And plus they upload their show immediately, so you can watch it whenever the fuck you want. I don't. So you're pretty much getting the only time here. You can go watch their shit later.
I was actually watching it before I came on here. That's
why
I
knew traitor.
Yeah.
Fucking traitor. All right, let's continue with this bullshit.
For MSF, which is cool.
Let's continue with this bullshit. More Kevin Sorbo. There's another minute or so left of this.
That's sad to me. This is not the country that our founding fathers created. I think they're turning over in their graves right now as we speak. I mean,
oh my God. To hear someone that shits, they've got it so flipped, and I understand that like my perspective is different, and that I'm gonna think I'm right or whatever, but I come to those conclusions after just examining the evidence with I didn't have a conclusion, and then I looked up the evidence that supported that conclusion. Like, exactly. I looked at the evidence and then came to a conclusion. That is the major difference. And what they do is they're like Christianity. So then they have to, I've literally heard them use the argument that it's Christian because it says creator. It's Christian because it says AD or whatever, or BC, or some fucking year of our Lord, or some shit like that. They are scratching for any evidence. And when you look at, all you have to do is look at the fucking, what they wrote. You have to look at the First Amendment, and that's as far as you have to read to understand, like, oh, it's not Christian.
Yeah.
If it was Christian, it wouldn't be the First Amendment. It would have been the First Commandment. You fucking retards.
And in the First Amendment, it would be Congress shall pass no law, establishing a religion or promoting a religion over other, but you fail at that point. If you go further in the history, let's go to, I don't know, the Treaty of Tripoli. I know a lot of people don't like to use it, but the Treaty of Tripoli was an official treaty, which, was never, it was enacted into law and signed, ratified unanimously by 23 of the 32 senators that were actually in Congress at the time.
Before they piggybacked a bunch of other legislation onto every fucking last thing that went through.
And it specifically says we're not a fucking Christian nation, and we have no. It's just like, okay, we're not a Christian nation.
It's so obvious.
We have no hostilities towards you just because you're Muslim. That's all it is. But it's saying we're not a fucking Christian nation, and we're not going to use that Christianity to attack you.
If the majority of if their argument then moves to like, well, the majority of Americans are Christian, well, then it quickly becomes, then I guess America is a white country. I guess America is what is it, male country or female? Female. More female. So I guess it's a female country, a white female Christian country. Let's get very specific with all these, majorities that we can squeeze in there, and we'll really be able to separate ourselves some more, because dividing ourselves into smaller and smaller groups is very beneficial to society.
Yeah, and I don't know if y'all have noticed this, but have you noticed that a lot of people don't seem to know what secularism is?
Oh, no, it's evil.
Yes. It's
how about progressive? How about progressive?
Oh, yeah.
The word like making progress. They've made the word progress into a bad thing because they want to conserve.
Well, they think that progressive means that they're going to take away everything from you in the name of progress. It's like some stupid fucking really think like a communist. How they talk about how everyone's a communist. They have this idea, and what their idea of everyone else doing is communist. And so they call people communists, but they don't really understand what the fuck progressive and other terms actually mean.
And this is what we mean when we say like they are so far removed from like the reality that most people live in.
Then they wonder why they encounter angry atheists, because when you're that far removed and ignorant and stupid and willfully just like, duh, and then you're like, and everyone I talk to is real angry at me. Maybe it's not them. Maybe it's you. Just saying. Maybe if every atheist you talk to gets frustrated and angry at you, maybe it's because you're so fucking stupid that you can't be gotten through to. And here's the thing with atheism. It's nothing more than a rejection of a claim. Mm-hmm. So understand that really all atheism is they're saying, I believe in this. And you're like, well, I don't. And they're like, why are you so angry at me? Oh, and I guess that flows right in with the rest of this video, so let's finish it.
These guys get nativity scenes pulled down because they say it offends them. And I'm going, wait a minute. It's about every poll that I've ever seen is anywhere between 85 and 90% of people in this country believe in something, whether it's God or a higher power, whatever they want to call it. They believe that something created all this, and they're offended that you take these nativity scenes down. So where's the majority's voice in this opinion anymore?
I would like to quickly point out that there is no fucking way that 95% of people are offended when you remove a nativity scene from a public property. I swear to God. You know what's right around all kinds of public property? Private property. So if you are such a fucking huge majority and you're 95% are pissed off about it, why don't you have 95% of the fucking private property around that public property displaying nativity scenes? And that'll really make your point, because then everyone that goes to the public property will have to see the nativity scenes of the private property around it while they try and get there. And that would really prove your point. And since you're 95 fucking %, it would be really easy to do, right? But no, instead let's piss and moan when we can't force our religion in either, whether it's an extreme or a mild form, mind you. A nativity scene is a very mild form, okay? It's not like they're putting up a scene of Muhammad diddling a 7-year-old or some shit. All right, had to get a jab at Islam at some point. Right. But yeah, like it's pretty mild. But the point is, it still favors one over another. If you're going to allow that, you have to allow all the other fucking scenes or displays or whatever else. And you're opening up a whole box of shit. And I've always said
they didn't realize.
I've always said that even if we gave it to you, okay, America's a Christian nation now. And we're going to put prayer back in school and shit like that, okay? And then just watch the Christians just devour each other, trying to say whose shit is going to get put in. And like, no, it's got to be this prayer. No, it's got to be worded this way. And no, it's got to be worded. Oh, my God. Just watch them just kill
Christian Civil War.
The denominations kill each other.
I'm telling you.
Well, that's the thing. The point I made in my video that I did on this was like they're not content with just keeping this in like their private yards and stuff. I mean, you notice none of these people that are complaining like these atheists were always trying to get nativity scenes taken down and stuff. You never hear of a case where it was like some guy's yard. Because I would have no problem with that. I have no fucking business.
My neighbors do it. They do a big one. My neighbors do it, and they're Mormon, and you know what? They're really nice people. They don't bother me. Our kids play and stuff like that. Like it doesn't bother me. It does not bother me. My daughter, when she stays the weekend with my folks, she goes to church with them. Doesn't bother me. Does not bother me in the least. I'm not this like, I'm going to teach you and I'm going to remove religion. Like, I fucking buy a Christmas tree every year, you dipshit, and we do Christmas. You know, you think I don't let my daughter, like, do something on Easter? Because I'm like, Easter's a religious thing, therefore, fuck you. Like, no, I'm just a fucking normal guy, and I don't think that, like, I'm not saying remove, like, the Easter egg hunt from the White House or some shit. You know, I'm not... it's that or the Christmas trees or whatever, but I'm saying when you say I can't call them holiday trees if that's what I want to call them. No, they have to be called Christmas trees. That's what at the point where I'm like, go fuck yourself. Go fuck yourself. I'll call it whatever the fuck I want. And if Christmas is decided by a community that they don't like that, then fucking holiday tree it is. You still get the tree, which is pagan, by the way. Yeah. So enjoy that.
How ironic. It's like all those Christian holidays are like pagan ripoffs. I love that.
The entire holiday is a fucking ripoff, yeah.
Dude, it's so fucking funny.
I want to do a nativity scene of what like the people back then probably or actually look like, and they'll be like all just like really dirty like Muslims. Like okay, but Muslims is wrong. I meant like Arabic. Dirty, that was a mistake. I will apologize for that.
Arabic,
that was just a miswording.
Yeah, they're all dirty Middle Easterners.
And I don't mean dirty like they're dirty. I mean like way back then, they didn't have showers very often and stuff. So they probably had like a lot of, like dirt and stuff. I don't mean like they're dirty Arabs. I mean like they're like dirty the same way everyone gets dirty if they're like out in the desert and shit. Like you're gonna get
they're literally
filthy.
covered in
dirt.
But
the filthy sounds worse. If I said a bunch of filthy Arabs, that sounds way worse.
I just thought about that.
It's not. This is what I mean about thinking things through. I'm pulling a Kevin fucking Sorbo right now.
Yeah, but the difference is you're talking. He had time to write this shit out. And
well, yeah, but and I realized my mistake immediately. Anyway, but yeah. No, nothing against dirty Arabs. All right, let's finish this shit off because it gets even better.
I agree, and like you said about the energy and the resources they spend to fight against Christianity. I don't believe in the tooth fairy, but I don't spend all my time trying to stop people from believing in the tooth fairy.
And that's as far as we'll get before we got to interject again.
Yeah, I knew that was coming.
I don't believe in this imaginary thing, but I do believe in this other imaginary thing.
Here's the best part. Imagine that you put yourself into our shoes, all right? Imagine that you're the minority. Christians are only the small percentage of the population, but you know what everyone else is? Tooth fairyists. And they have their own set of laws, and they worship like their own tooth god or whatever. So... But you disagree with them. You live in the United States where you have freedom of religion, which means freedom from religion. So you would agree that tooth fairyism shouldn't be able to be imposed on your kids at like public school, even though they're the majority, right? So you would understand where your argument would be against them. If you were put in our position, you just don't understand our argument from your position. You're unable to fucking look in a mirror or examine your position from an outside perspective.
Why would you start using tooth fairy? That's just stupid. God exists, tooth fairy doesn't exist. Why would you use that as an example? It doesn't even work.
That's actually the best point I've heard all night. You just put me in my place. Logical smackdown.
That's like a perfect parroting of everything that I've heard so far from certain people, right?
Yeah, like Tooth Fairy, that's just silly. Fine, fuck the Tooth Fairy. What if it was Allah?
What if it was Yahweh?
Yeah.
Jesus, that's so fucking... They're so all over the place. And this is, yet again, when they're... I just want to let them go at each other. I'll be like, I'm gonna start... Like, I almost voted for Pwned. I really did, because I was just like, oh, this would be fun. This will be fun. You know how much fun it would have been? You think she would have quit being vice president halfway through?
Probably. Even though she lost, look how much fun it's been.
Yeah, you seen the clips from her stupid ass fucking channel, right?
Ice bucket challenge. Have you seen the ice bucket challenge?
Oh, yeah. Like the whole awkwardness of the ice bucket challenge, and she's like takes forever to get 2 pieces of ice. Like, what do you think you are?
She's like, this is my ice bucket challenge right here. It's Dr. Pepper. Yeah, I've got. Look, I mean, the fucking like silver caribou ice carrier thing. Jesus, how much was that thing? That looked like a $600 piece right there just to fucking hold her stupid ice. And then the tongs were probably an extra $50. Stupid cunt.
And like she puts seriously, she takes 2 fucking years to get 2 pieces of ice out. Like what? Do you not know how to fill up a fucking ice bucket? The whole point of it is to have ice in it. Did you go through this whole thing thinking, all right, I'm gonna do ice bucket challenge, but I'm gonna put fucking 2 pieces of ice. It's gonna take forever to get them out.
If she was fucking halfway smart, she would have been like, here's my ice bucket challenge. She would have fucking talked about writing and double the amount or whatever real quick. Like already have the check written. Like, hey, I doubled the amount, there's the fucking check, and here's my ice bucket challenge. She grabs the cup, she puts her fucking, pours the Dr. Pepper in the fucking glass, and then someone dumps the ice over and into the glass as well, and then she takes a sip. That would have been fucking good.
Decent, I gotta say though, man, I'm really glad Sarah Palin's around because she's like a constant reminder.
Oh.
Like anytime I start thinking maybe it's not so bad, I remember Sarah Palin almost got in the fucking White House.
Oh yeah.
Like you just when you think about that, you're like, oh my god, like it really like hits you, like this is like some serious shit. This lady almost. And what, John McCain,
you know what?
If he would have died in office.
No. What I really love about Sarah Palin is she brought out the crazies. Like you can tell who the absolute morons are if they're Sarah Palin supporters. She did a really good job of that. My dad's friend, we had to borrow his pickup truck to move something, and he had a McCain Palin sticker, and this was after the election was already over. And so I slapped a sticker over that said, turn off Fox News or some shit, and returned it. And my dad later told me, he's like, he did not find that amusing, and he ended up just taking both the stickers off.
Hey, at least you got rid of the Palin sticker.
Yeah, it's still, you got to have some fun. Anyway, but yeah, it's completely embarrassing. And yeah, did you remember my video, Sarah Palin versus Family Guy or whatever?
Oh, when they made fun of her daughter?
Oh, no. Well, they made fun of, there was a chick with Down syndrome who said her mother was the former governor of Alaska, which is pretty much saying, yeah, it's her daughter. But she was actually very assertive, and I found it to be the best, what would I say, the best way that a person with Down syndrome could be portrayed in a cartoon like Family Guy. Like they didn't make fun of her being
like she wasn't like drooling all over.
Yeah,
herself.
she wasn't like retarded. Like there is a guy in Peter's office that bites his finger. Remember?
Wait a minute, are you talking
Opie or whatever? And that guy's actually fucking retarded. They didn't make her out to be like that.
Are you talking about the one where Chris falls in love with her?
Yeah.
The Down syndrome girl?
Yeah. And she dumps him or whatever.
Yeah.
I mean, the video, the whole thing is pretty much positive for people with Down syndrome, and she just took offense that they would make someone with Down syndrome the character of her child who has Down syndrome. It just doesn't.
Even better than that is it was on O'Reilly's show.
Oh yeah.
And Bill was like, oh, this McFarlane guy, he's obviously just a hater.
Yeah, and the best thing was it's Fox versus Fox.
Right?
That's the fucking best. It's Fox versus Fox News. Fox News is like, and they're making fun of him on fucking Family Guy. It's hilarious.
News is
all right, let's finish this fucking video off.
These guys, I mean, if they don't believe God exists, then what is the big deal? Why are they spending so much time and money if God doesn't exist? The truth is, Kevin, they know he exists.
Of course.
They hate him. That's what it's all about.
That's exactly what it is, and that's pretty much what my character is in the movie God's Not Dead. I mean, I know these guys must believe in something, otherwise they wouldn't get so angry about it, and they don't like the fact that there's a higher power out there that's judging how they live their lives.
There you have it. There's the basis of their fucking argument, that they think atheists are not actually atheists, that we believe in God, we just don't want to accept that there's a higher power. So I don't know how we don't accept it and believe it at the same time, but we do. And somehow we are so illogical that we think that simply claiming not to believe in it will somehow get us out of the eternal punishment that you claim your God will have, and we believe. We believe we're going to have eternal punishment, but we're just going to be like, well, I'm going to pretend it's not going to happen, and that way I can trick other people into burning in hell because I'm such an evil demon baby-eating atheist. Are you fucking kidding me?
Dude, if I can find it, will you play the video Dark Matter did on that?
There it is. All right, here we go. Enjoy.
Fucking dealer want to give me $3.
Oh, hey, Bob. I was meaning to ask you, what church do you go to? Oh, I actually don't go to church. I'm an atheist. I don't believe in God. Yeah, right. You don't believe because you just want to keep sinning. But... You got me. It's true. How did you know? How did you figure it out? Superior logic and reason, that's how. It just makes sense that someone would try to avoid consequences by choosing to disbelieve.
That is one smart theist. What he doesn't know is that he's onto something big. Really big.
Oh?
Yep. The big atheist secret is that they don't just choose to disbelieve in me in order to avoid consequences, but they also choose to disbelieve in other things that obviously exist, just to avoid the consequences.
Because that makes so much sense and would clearly be highly effective, right?
Yep.
You know, it's odd that I haven't noticed this. Can you possibly give me some examples, Scott?
But of course, Jeffrey. I'd only be too happy to.
Look, the police response time to this bank is pretty fast. Route 77 is usually pretty heavily patrolled by stadies, and there's a donut shop 2 blocks to the north, so we're pretty much screwed. If we really want to do this bank job, then the only viable option is to stop believing in cops. Then we could steal all we want. It's okay, baby. We don't need a condom. Just choose to not believe in gonorrhea. Or children. Hey, what's wrong? Don't you want to skydive? Yeah, but I'm scared. Scared of what? That my chute won't open. It's okay. Just stop believing in the ground. Hey, that's a good idea. Thanks. Now that I don't believe in the ground, I can skydive all I want. Woohoo! Hey, you forgot your chute.
We're in trouble. What's up? I forgot to refuel the plane. Oh, is that all? No, don't worry. Just stop believing in empty fuel tanks. What kind of crack are you smoking? Hey, listen. Do you want to keep flying or not? Yeah? Then just do it. Okay, stopping belief in empty fuel tanks in 3, 2, 1. We're good. And now we can fly all we want.
Good stuff. It's fucking Kevin Sorbo is still sitting there, staring at us with his dumb fucking face.
He's not amused by our atheist logic.
I'm getting angry just looking at him.
I want to write a senator and demand that Christmas trees be taken down.
Yeah.
I was going to say that they really don't like it when that whole thing is used against them, because as soon as, you know, they're talking about atheists and how we're all pissed off, we just got rid of everything, but, you know, fine. We're pissed off that they erected their monuments, but as soon as that the Satanic Temple tried to erect their monument, oh, what the fuck are they doing? I'm sorry, but
they don't understand the point. I wonder how
if you're going to have your 10 Commandments, they can have their fucking monument, which I think is awesome.
I wonder how many atheists picketed his movies.
Probably not a lot.
I wonder how many protests went up. Like, none, you dipshit, because people don't care.
Exactly. My protest would be online of his horrible portrayal and inaccurate portrayal of an atheist that he thinks is somehow accurate. That's what I mean, if there's any protest, it would be a person slamming him on the internet for the fucking retard he is.
Does anyone here do, like, speed Photoshop? Can I get a quick Jesus with Kevin Sorbo's head on it? It doesn't have to be this picture that's up on my screen, but I need a quick Jesus with Kevin Sorbo's head. That would be great.
Rickenbacker, where are you?
Yeah, for real. Speed. I have a good audience. We'll see what's going on. Do you guys want to move on to another topic, or what?
It's totally up to you, man. This is your rodeo, man.
My rodeo. I like my rodeo. Does everyone else like my rodeo? How about my milkshake? I heard it brings all the boys to the yard.
Well, it certainly brought me and Paul.
All right. You want to get into Bill O'Reilly? We could do Bill O'Reilly and Sorbo if you want, or we could do Bill O'Reilly on black culture.
Wait. Is it O'Reilly and Sorbo together?
Yeah.
How have I not? I haven't seen any of these.
Really?
Dude, I haven't seen that.
All right, here we go then.
Personal story segment time. New film called God Is Not Dead, and its star Kevin Sorbo. Movie opened in a few theaters last week, was a huge hit. Today it expands across the country. Film's premise is summed up by this clip.
I am Professor Radisson. This is Philosophy 150. I would like to bypass senseless debate altogether and jump to the conclusion, which every sophomore is already aware of: there is no God. All that I require from each of you is that you fill in the papers I've just given you with 3 little words: God is dead.
And joining us from Los Angeles is Mr. Sorbo. So why should I see this flick? What am I going to get out of this?
You know what? Every movie creates controversy, and certainly this movie will as well. And what you're doing is you're getting the scientific viewpoint from an atheist, but you're also getting the scientific viewpoint from the Christians. And it's like a miniature faith-based movie in a way, when like Crash. Remember the movie Crash about 10, 12 years ago, won the best picture?
Yep.
It's got 5 different stories in it that come together at the very end. But this story of my battle with this freshman student who wants to prove God to me.
By the way, Crash was a movie about people who got off on wrecking cars and shit. Like they would like wreck cars and then be in the hospital and have sex because they got off on it. Like really weird shit. Yeah. Also, I don't understand how there's the atheist science and Christian science. There's just science, buddy.
Well, and actually,
I would argue, no, Christian science is not real science.
Yeah, because
Christian science,
atheist science is not real science. It's just science, and it supports atheism more than theism.
Well, no, atheist science doesn't actually exist. It's just science. And then you have Christian science, which is pseudoscience, bullshit, junk, woo-woo, mumbo jumbo.
All right, let's continue with this bullshit.
Me in my class is obviously the anchor of the story.
All right, so you play the atheist professor, and the student, the younger actor, he plays the person who doesn't, who wants to promote a belief in God. Okay, that's interesting because that goes against type, because in your real life, you are a believer, correct?
I am a believer, there's no question. I know it's shocking for people to find out that there are actually atheists in our universities, but yes, there are. And what's great at the end of this movie, there's 37 cases that they show with the university and the student that people can freeze frame when they get the DVD and they can go check it out online for themselves.
No, there's no doubt. I mean, you know, we've been reporting that for years, that academia is rife with secularism and anti-religious sentiment.
I like that he says that like academia is rife with secularism as if it's a bad thing.
Exactly, like we just talked about, and he said, and anti-religious sentiment.
I guess not allowing their religion into like academia when it doesn't fucking belong there, he considers like anti-religious. It just you just when you don't, God damn. All right, let's put this in a different perspective. I'm having breakfast at a diner. I get my fucking plate. I've got bacon and eggs and everything, and then a fucking Muslim comes over and knocks my bacon on the floor with something else because they can't touch it. But they've knocked it on the floor, and because like they're not going to allow me to what? I'm being anti-religious by eating bacon? Or is that my fucking choice and that's how I fucking do it? And if people want to do it that way, that's the way they get to do it. As far as public schools and academia, you go with the fucking facts. And science is not theistic or atheistic. It's just fucking science.
Well, yes, TJ. And you can also go back on the tooth fairy route. Let's say if the people that have the tooth fairy and believe in the tooth fairy don't want you eating candy because it's not good for your teeth.
Well, yeah.
There you go, bro.
I love you, Drew.
Oh yeah.
It's kind of weird that you wear sunglasses inside at night, but once you get past that, you're an all right guy. Let's continue.
Now, when you're involved with this movie not only as an actor, but you're involved with the production and everything else. Did you get resistance in Hollywood from this film, for this film?
You know, it's not really resistance from this particular film. I've been getting resistance for a long time from it. My manager has told me many times that for me standing up for my
political points of view and coming on shows like yours, and I've been on Hannity and things, and where it's a backlash to me. I've noticed this year, I don't know, there were probably 50, 60 different pilots between all the cable and all the networks. I read for one. I got into read for one. I used to read for 10, 12 a year. Look, I had Hercules. It was the most watched TV show in the world for 7 years. I had Andromeda, 5-year hit, #1 syndicated show in America. And then I've done about 50 movies since then, but most of them are in that smaller independent world, which is fine. You know, Hollywood owes me nothing. I've been very fortunate. There are many actors that would love to have the career I've had. But do I see a kickback from it? And have I heard the hatred and the anger comes back towards me for actually having a different point of view in a city that claims tolerance? Yeah, it's definitely come back.
Wasn't his point earlier that 95% of people like support him or believe in something, and that
they believe in something?
Well, but his point is that they're like the huge majority, and O'Reilly's always bringing that up. They're the huge majorities. So why are you crying so hard that you're getting persecuted and that you're just so tiny? It's like Fox News. They're like, we get the hugest ratings and the biggest viewership, and then also we're not mainstream media.
Exactly. We talked about that, man. They want it both ways. They want to use it whichever way benefits them at the moment.
And people are dumb enough to believe it. Another thing, the fair and balanced. They're like, Fox News is the only one showing the other side. I'm like, what do you mean the other side? Disagreeing with everyone else about everything in order to push your right-wing conservative bullshit is not the other side. That's just like taking it way to the extreme in the other direction of common sense, logic, and reality.
It is the other side. It's the other side of fucking reality. It's a side that doesn't exist.
That's, they should call it the flip side.
Bullshit.
The fucking flip side.
It's a dream. Like it's a dream world that they all fucking live in. Fucking O'Reilly, Hannity, all of them idiots.
Must be fun. Ignorance is bliss, apparently. All right, let's. This is a long one, so let's try and get through it. We've got another 3 minutes about.
To bite me.
Okay, but it isn't that you are that right wing. I mean, I don't think. I'm not seeing anything really crazy here. You vote for both Democrats and Republicans. You are not evangelizing or proselytizing.
No.
So what is it?
Not at all.
What is it that you do that has annoyed the Hollywood chieftains?
Well, Bill, I think you know this. I mean, you've heard it from many other actors, and from the John Voight's out there, and Kelsey Grammer's, the kickback that they even receive, and they're big stars. Even if you're an independent voter, I mean, I am definitely a guy I'm not sitting on the fence, but I'll look at both sides. I vote with my heart, my mind, my gut. I actually look at people, weigh the pros and cons, who's going to be best for this country. But so many people, especially in this industry, they vote with anger. They vote maybe out of fear. They vote with just, people outside the industry vote for who's going to give me more stuff. I mean, you know that. You
all right,
report
so
this
if you're
stuff all
not
the time.
I'm still waiting for the stuff that I'm going to get for voting for Obama.
Right?
I'm waiting for that stuff. Because, the people that get stuff, like welfare or unemployment or shit like that, there are not that many people, especially of the voting fucking public. And so what about all the people? You can't win an election just on their votes. So what about everyone else? What's your excuse for why they voted for him and against your bullshit?
And actually, I would say most of the people that get welfare, or most of the money that goes to welfare, goes to people that vote conservative because they're the richest people in the country. Most of the money goes to them through tax incentives and loopholes and that kind of shit.
What would people do if they, like people that work at Walmart full time, no benefits or benefits they can't afford or benefits that don't cover shit? The last job I worked at, they had a medical package that was bronze, silver, and gold. And then they had regular dental and like ultra dental. The bronze was pretty cheap, but it covered nothing. The co-pays were huge. Everything was giant. You couldn't. It was pointless. The gold was extremely expensive, and it still didn't cover that much. And then the silver was somewhere in between those two, obviously. And then the dental, the basic one, covered almost nothing. And then the ultra one was actually worth it. It was like $13 a week or something like that, which is not too bad, and it covered a lot, and I had a pretty high like limit, a couple grand a year or something like that, which is high for dental. But I needed it back in the day. You guys remember I've had teeth removed. I've had dental issues for some time. I grind in my sleep, and I can't. The mouth guards don't fucking work. I'm not wearing a helmet or anything. So
you wore a mouth guard to sleep?
I've tried them because I fucking grind, bro, in my sleep, and I don't know I'm doing it. But I've right before I'm about to fall asleep, I can catch myself like fucking tensing up my jaw and shit. That's
almost
anyway,
like.
But I mean,
I'm sorry, man. That's almost like Joe's cousin or whatever that was homeschooled because he shit his pants.
What? That's not nearly as bad as you can't go to school because you shit your pants because I grind my teeth in my sleep.
Grinds her teeth at night.
And it's really bad for your fucking teeth. And
I'm sure it is. Shitting your pants is really bad for your pants.
Well, and your anus if you don't clean it up quickly. How is it that other animals can get away with not using toilet paper, but we have to? Let me ask you that. Is that like, has toilet paper become evolutionarily fucking beneficial to us? Our asshole is like revolts if we don't use. Is it eventually gonna become we have to use like fucking like moistened pads and shit? Well, or is it gonna be like Demolition Man and we have like the 3 seashells and God knows what the fuck they do?
Yeah, that's the ongoing joke. Yeah, but no, the thing is, the fact that humans have to wipe their ass and no other animal does is proof that God does not exist. Think about it.
Yeah, no, I thought about it. I actually thought about it so hard I was like, I came up with an idea to make money off it. Why not print the Bible on toilet paper and let people wipe their ass with it?
Nice.
Yeah, you'd buy some Bible toilet paper, wouldn't you? I'm pretty sure the gays would just love that one Leviticus line, like, on every sheet. They'd be like, oh yeah, an abomination. I got an abomination right here. Fucking back to front for you, son of a bitch.
The fact that humans need to wipe their ass is so Autopsy's breath doesn't smell like shit. And in turn, cock stink won't either. Very nice.
Oh, nice. Very nice. I like.
Fucker.
Oh, shit. All right. You guys want to continue with this?
Sure.
It's got about, I don't know, a minute left.
Cheerleading for the Democratic Party or the liberal point of view, if you're not actively cheerleading, then your opportunities are cut down. And I believe that. I think you're absolutely right. I mean, look, I'm in the same business you're in now as a producer. Luckily, we have a very, very good system for my books. And then, but we've had, discussions with other people, big name stars. And I know I'm not going to name them now, but believe me, I could at any moment. And you know who you are.
I'm a big name star. I'm a big name star in my mind. But anyway, but
they
talking about God. I got to push this.
And he's not just talking about the book.
Yeah. Only
when it comes to speaking of God, he's like, speaking of God, I got to push this. Yeah, I got to push this religion shit.
We spoke to a lot of big name celebrities. I can't name them right now. I'm not going to name them, but I can, and you know who they are. Like, thanks, Bill. That's fake.
My favorite thing is the title of the book is The Answer, and he obviously doesn't have any fucking answers. Any. Like Bill O'Reilly.
But he's not evangelizing.
Oh, God, Bill O'Reilly almost comes off as smart next to fucking Kevin Sorbo, and Bill O'Reilly's just good at playing into the role that he's supposed to take with certain people. If you watch Bill O'Reilly with 2 other conservatives and one of them is like way far right and the other one's more moderate, Bill O'Reilly will tend to like go with the moderate one and call him out unless it's on very specific topics. So Bill O'Reilly's not he's a smart guy, but he knows how to play his role. But this role he's playing with Sorbo, obviously, it's complete fucking softballs, and they're just pimping off each other.
Oh yeah, yeah. It's like if they got any more love fest, they'd be sucking each other off in a few minutes.
By the way, it's sucking each other off. That's chapter 7 of The Answer. You gotta read that shit. It's awesome. All right, let's finish it. Almost done.
Push it. It's my wife's book, Proving the Existence of God. It's called The Answer. So check it out. And this goes hand in hand with this movie right here, to prove the existence of God.
Okay. Now let me just wrap up my thought. When a person in Hollywood, certain people, all right, hear that it's business with me, all right, they don't want to do that because their cocktail party invitations decline. It's a social thing as much as an ideological thing. But with you, I think it's crazy because you're just not a nutty kind of guy. And you're not that far out there. So what's the name of your wife's book again, just so you're happy when you go? Because I don't want Hercules mad at me. Go ahead.
It is called The Answer.
Oh, Jesus. Bill O'Reilly's final point was like, it made absolutely no fucking sense whatsoever. Everyone's out to get them because they don't. Bill O'Reilly, they won't do any business with him because, you know, he's not crazy though because they're just not that far out. Like, and you get viewers. Jesus Christ, I'm stoned as fuck and I can make a better point than you. I can string along words better than Sarah Palin, no matter how shit. Yeah, no,
he's just pandering to the old fucks who watch Bill and think this bullshit backwards ass thing that, you know, that they're the ones who made progressive into a bad word and made conservative into a bad word as well. And they're just pandering to that stupid ass audience.
No, I also thought it was interesting that apparently Kevin Sorbo's wife has solved, like, you know, the problem. I mean, it's proof. Absolute proof God exists. Kevin Sorbo's wife.
Kind of like Nephilim's proof, right?
Yeah, that the fucking the earth, like fucking gave the moon a facial.
This one fucking person figured it out, and it's proof, and it's a revelation that everyone should know, except no one knows.
Yeah, but that's why you got to buy the book. You see, I love that Kevin Sorbo's wife is the one to put the question. You know, that's it. Game over. Kevin Sorbo's wife has figured it out.
What would be even better is if his wife was Lucy Lawless, you know, Xena, Warrior Princess.
He could not be lucky enough for his wife
actually,
to be
Xena. His wife is actually pretty hot. I've seen her.
I wouldn't doubt that, but I'm just saying.
Lucy Lawless cannot be his wife, though. You know she's considered a terrorist, right?
You serious?
Yeah.
Lucy Lawless? Are we talking about the same Lucy Lawless?
He's probably looking for a link right now.
Yeah, she's an activist, man. She's actually been in prison and shit. What the fuck is?
Really? Did she attack someone with that frisbee thing she used to throw in Xena?
Yeah, I wish.
Yeah, then she jumps in the air and does like 8 flips.
Oh, you like that, Chibi?